Hey there. I know I haven't made any videos in quite a long time, so today I decided to break that monotony by making a reconstructions video of my official 36.803 BLD mean from Odyssey Cube Challenge, which was held around 2 weeks back. I also happened to get a 32.97 single on the third solve, so without further ado, I'll just be reconstructing all the solves one by one. Okay, so we have the first scramble. I've scrambled in my solving orientation, which happens to be the WCA white on top, green on front, but I'd advise you to scramble it in your solving orientation. So this is how the cube appeared before me, with the box of course. So I take off the box and I notice green yellow, so it's a simple X prime to my white on top, green on front solving orientation. And my corner buffer is UBL, edge buffer is DF, and I use 3 styles, so if you're not acquainted with the method you probably won't understand what I'm saying, so it's better if you probably learn it and come back. So I'm going to be memorizing my corners first, and I'll be using my lettering scheme for reference, so if you're confused at any stage, just follow along on your own cube in your own solving orientation. Yeah, so I have this, which is I for me from the buffer, and then J, and then X, G, B, and then a cycle break. So I'm going to choose O. I chose O rather because BO is a very easy 8 mover for me. So then I had P and W to complete it. This is what I did then. So for me, that's IJ is Indiana Jones, XG is a goth person, which I learned from one of Noah's videos. Then I had BO, which is, I just imagine a person called Bo because it's easy. BO, PW is powerful. So Indiana Jones and a goth, go and find a person named Bo who's powerful. It was that simple. Then edges, I have back here, I have T, A, V, E, J, M, G, W, L, and H. And then I have a cycle break, but I mean the buffer solves itself. And then I noticed this flipped edge. So that was very easy, 10 targets, no cycle breaks, and just one flipped edge. And I'm going to start executing edges, so I had TA, which is just normal M2, solves these two. Then I had VE, which is fairly easy, it's just M prime, U prime, M insertion, D prime interchange, solves this and that. Then I had JM, and I set that up like this to FI, which is a simple 8 move case, like so, solves those two. Then I had GW, and I use advanced M2, which basically means I set up this W bottom sticker to A, but I actually cancel a move while doing that. I'll just rotate. Usually I use B moves, but in this case I'll just rotate to make it easier. So instead of just doing that setup first, I'll just do it here, but then I have G first, so I'll just catch it initially and then move it there. Do that, and then use normal M2 and solve those two. Then I have LH, which is easy, I just rotate it like this. Insertion, interchange, solves those two. And finally 2 flipped edges, the normal flipping out for me. Moving on to corners, I, J, rotate it like this, drop it in, that's my insertion, D prime interchange, there. Then I had X, G. Now for XG I use an 11 mover like this, I rotate it, I do a D2 setup to VO, and VO is a 9 mover, which is actually an A9 because if I set it up to GO it becomes an 8 mover, but the first move cancels into an R2. That's my insertion, interchange, that, undo, and undo setup move. Then I had B, cycle break, chose O, so BO is U, then catch it like that, RD, R prime, solves. And finally PW, so PW is a 12 mover where I have to do an X rotation and drop this in here with a R2U, R2U prime, R2 insertion. And then W interchanges with the buffer with a simple D2. so that was what I did for the first scramble. I got 38.16 on this. So moving on to the second scramble. Okay, so this is how the second scramble appeared for me. Yellow on top, blue on front. Of course, if you're scrambling in your orientation, it'll appear an X2 away from you. But in a competition, obviously, it's going to appear like this for everyone. So yeah, again, corners, I see this flipped edge again, which is the same flipped edge I had last time. That was coincidence. So corners, I see P, U, Y, sorry, not Y, what am I saying? W, F, so P, U, W, F, N, and then cycle break again, and I choose M because NM is a very easy 8 mover. M, S, and C. So PU is pummel. Pummel doesn't beat up someone. Pummel. WF is wife. And NM is Narendra Modi, the Indian Prime Minister. And SC for me is Supreme Court. So pummel, the wife of Narendra Modi in the Supreme Court. I hope I don't get jailed for saying that. Anyway, yeah. So that was my corner memo. It was easy, it helped stick. And for edges, Q, E, V, P, F, G, T, sorry for going out of the frame, T, and then I had a cycle break, so I chose T and then M, and then S at the back and back to M, and then these two flipped edges. So I had one cycle break in edges, one in corners, and a pair of flipped edges. So I'll execute the edges first. So I had Q, E, and most people I know, and I started off doing this, rotate like this and do the commutator like that, which solves them, which is cool, which I do for big BLD. But for 3 blind, there's a special MU case for this, where you can just do U, M prime, U, M, U, M prime, U, M, and it solves those. And that's pretty cool because it's rotationless, so that's a nice trick I learned. I used that. Then I had V, P, and I just rotate it like this. L prime, insert, and then I cancel. So L prime, undo, and then L2 at the end cancels move. So VP are done. Then I had FG, and of course edges I just do audio, so I don't think I need to trace out my memo for you guys. FG is very easy, just set it up to EF. It's a 9 mover, like so, solves those. Then I had T, M, so I set that up to PI, which is a simple 8 mover, like so. And I had S, M, which is very easy. It's just U prime, R prime, U, M prime, that's it. And I was in this position, which is very nice because I can go straight into my flipping alg. Then I had P, U, which is, I just rotated, very easy drop off. D2 interchange with a buffer, solves those. Then I had WF, which is a bit tricky because I have to rotate awkwardly like this, and then I have to use a 12 mover, which starts with the R prime, F prime, R2, FR insertion, and then these two, this and the buffer, are U2 away, so that solves F and W. And then I had N and cycle break to M, which is very easy, just that, and then S, C, which is elementary. That's it. So that was second scramble, and now moving on to the final scramble. And on this scramble I got 39.16, no wait, that was the first one, 39.28 on this, sorry about that. Okay, so the third scramble came like this to me, and I just reoriented like that. Then moving on to corners, again P, Q, I, T, and cycle break. So I chose M, which actually happened to be very nice for me because the commutators flowed really well from there. M, G, S, J. And then edges I had, so yeah, if you want to hear what story I made, I can't really recollect, it was just some weird sentence memo, so I'll just skip that. Then I had D, W, J, B, I, X, Q, T, F, H, and then I see this solved edge. So that was a dream scramble. This is where I got my 32.97 because it had 10 edge targets, no cycle breaks, 1 solved edge, and 8 corner targets with just 1 cycle break. So it was a 10-8 scramble, which is very nice. So I start solving, and I actually should have got a sub 30 on this because I revised my memo, which is why I didn't. I finished memo by around 10 seconds, but then I revised the first few edge targets to be sure what I had, and memos are around 13 to 14 then. But my execution was pretty fast for me. So W, I use a cool phi mover, which is just U wide prime, M, U wide 2, M, U wide prime, solves that, and the back edge right there. Then I had JB, which is just advanced M2, just put this up there, solve and move cancels like that. IX, which is easy, just X rotation, M prime interchange first, insertion, solves that and that. Next QT. QT, I have a weird rotation like so. So this goes there with a simple D prime, and insertion is pretty obvious. That was an 8 mover. Now I have FH, which is a simple 9 mover. You just throw it up there, insert L2, and cancel the last move. That was easy. And then I had PQ, which I just do an R prime setup to OC, which is simple U2 interchange first, and then I have L prime D, where this goes in the buffer, L, and undo the setup move. Then I have I T, which is very obvious, U, R prime, U prime to get T up there, and then L prime interchange. And then I have M, G, I just do an X prime rotation, put that there, D2, solves that. And the good thing about this was my next commutator had to be from this very angle, the X prime angle from my solving orientation, so I just finished it off in one fluid shot. So I had S, J, which is L prime, UR to U prime, L, UR to U prime. So that was done, stopped the timer, got a new PB, and thanks for watching guys. Hope you liked it and learned something new from this video. Bye.